This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. So the interview that aired last night was practically a roast of Donald Trump being performed by a Fox News anchor, their main lead chief straight news anchor, not one of the infotainment jerk-offs in the evening hours, Bret Baier. He's not a straight news man. We learned from the text messages in the Dominion case that he was texting all over town with Tucker Carlson and worried about their network's reputation and losing viewers and what they could do to gain them back. He's a nightmare. But in this case, apparently he's trying to save face or something, because I got two clips here of him. It's practically a comedy show. The first one is him just going through a list of all the cabinet officials that Donald Trump personally chose to hire who now hate his guts and have said horrible things about him. Watch this.
In 2016, you said that. I'm going to surround myself with only the best and most serious people.
Well, I did do that. And we had tremendous, look, we had the best economy we've ever had, the world has ever seen.
Your Vice President, Mike Pence, is running against you.
Yeah.
Your Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, she's running against you. Your former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, said he's not supporting you. You mentioned National Security Advisor John Bolton. He's not supporting you either. You mentioned Attorney General Bill Barr, says you shouldn't be president again, calls you the consummate narcissist and troubled man. You recently called Barr a gutless pig. Your second defense secretary is not supporting you, called you irresponsible. This week, you and your White House called your White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, weak and ineffective and born with a very small brain. You called your acting White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, a born loser. You called your first Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, dumb as a rock, and your first Defense Secretary, James Mattis, the world's most overrated general. You called your White House Press Secretary, Kayleigh Canadian, milquetoast, and multiple times you've referred to your Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, as Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife. So, why did you hire all of them in the first place?
Because I hired 10 to 1 that were fantastic. We had a great economy. We had phenomenal people in charge of the economy. We had phenomenal people in the military. I'm not a fan of Milley, and I'm not a fan of certain of the television people. But I knocked out ISIS. I defeated ISIS. They said, Mattis, it would take 3 years, and I don't think we can do it. I did it in a period of like 4 weeks.
There's a lot of people who praise you for your policies. I just said that.
That's true. Well, I mean, you just went through a list. But don't forget, for every one you say, I had 10 that love us.
Did you catch that? Look, if you ignore all of the people who I hired who now hate my guts, if you ignore all of them, everybody else loves me. You got to ignore the ones that hate me, though, to get to that number. Pence, Nikki Haley, Pompeo, John Bolton, Bill Barr, Mark Esper, John Kelly, Mick Mulvaney, Tillerson, Mattis, McEnany, Chao. Come on. And there's more. There's more than just that. It's just that an interview can only be so long, and Bret Baier didn't have the stamina, I guess, to continue the list. Look, Donald Trump, this, by any metric, was a nightmare on two fronts. One, because it's him just getting called out and having nowhere to run or hide. But two, and I think more importantly, this was on Fox News. The die-hard Trump people who are still watching Fox News, and it's a lot of them. Fox News is still a chief racker-upper of ratings in the news space on cable news. It just is. So there invariably were a ton of Trump people watching this, learning things maybe they didn't know before, because up to this point, Fox News has been reticent to cover these items. This next clip is Donald Trump answering a question that wasn't asked. Bret Baier asked him about, like, how are you going to win back suburban women who have kind of fled? They're not interested in you anymore. How are you going to win those voters back? And rather than address the question, because obviously the question is not interesting to Donald Trump, he just claims, well, I did win. I won, and then gets fact-checked all the way down the line. Again, on Fox News. Watch this.
What do you say to that female independent suburban voter who feels that way, to win her back?
First of all, I won in 2020 by a lot, okay? Let's get that straight. I won in 2020.
You know that
and if you look at all of the tapes, if you look at everything that you want to look at, you take a look at Truth to Vote, where they have people stuffing the ballot boxes on tapes, or
Mr. President,
let's go to recent. Well, wait a minute. Let's go to recent. FBI Twitter. Let's go to recent. The 51 agents, all corrupt stuff, Brett.
Understand about the Hunter Biden,
no, but
all
that's cheating
fair
on the
things.
election.
But
that's cheating on the election.
You lost the 2020 election.
Brett, you take a look at all of the stuffed ballots. You take a look at all of the things, including things like the 51 intelligence agents.
There were recounts in all of the swing states. There was not significant widespread
We're trying
fraud.
to get recounts, real recounts, not just numbers of
investigations,
votes
widespread
cast.
corruption. There was not a sense of that. There were lawsuits, more than 50 of them, by your lawyers, some in front of
Brett,
judges that you appointed.
Look at Wisconsin.
That came out with no evidence.
Wisconsin has practically admitted it was rigged. Other states are doing the same right now, and it's continuing.
There have been
It was
reviews
a
of
rigged
every
election.
potential case of voter fraud in 6 battleground states, and they found fewer than 475 cases.
You know why?
that
Because
were
they
not
didn't
affected.
look at the right things.
Okay,
Brett.
are you going to be
They were counting ballots, not the authenticity of the ballot. The ballots were fake ballots. This was a very rigged election.
Are you going to go? This is how you're going to tell that independent suburban woman voter
No,
to vote for
we're
you?
off to winning an election, and I think we're winning very well. I got a poll just recently. I have it here.
No, I know, and I watched the numbers.
So I don't know. I don't know what was in the strategy here for Donald Trump to make an appearance like this. I would guess it would seem logical to me that there will be fewer of these. There'll be more rallies and more controlled messaging moments, and less Donald Trump going and being grilled by reporters who seem, even at Fox News, unwilling to just let him lie without checking him. So I don't know. This is uncharted territory that we're going into. Of all the uncharted moments that we faced over the course of the last 6 years, here's one, yet another uncharted territory moment. What do you think? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. If you have not subscribed, if you watch my content on a regular or semi-regular basis and you're not subscribed, check to see if you are. Sometimes people get unsubscribed unknowingly. Please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 500,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I'm within 30,000 right now, and it's only with your help, your gracious help, that I'm going to be able to do that. Follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And after all of that, if you still want to help me out, if I bring you value enough to support my work, click the join button below, become a channel member, click the super thanks button below, or even better, go over to Patreon, patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. I love and appreciate you guys very much. Again, it's only Tuesday. It felt like Friday when I woke up. I desperately need a vacation. I'll see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.